Okay, so in section 12.3 and 12.5, we're going to be talking about pyramids, cones. So the formulas for the lateral area, it's 1/2 perimeter times slant. In the surface area, you're going to get the lateral area plus the area of the base, which means that is 1/2 perimeter times slant plus the base. And then it's pretty much the same idea on the cone, where instead of the 1/2 the perimeter, we're going to have, instead of the perimeter, it's going to be pi r. You know what pi r is?
Radius.
Pi times radius. Is it the whole circumference? It's half of the circumference. So it's basically the same idea. Over here is half of the perimeter, where over here is half of the circumference, but it's already simplified. Okay, and then times the slant. That's to get the slant, the lateral area, which is the area around that figure. And then when you want to know the area of the whole thing, including the base, we just add the area of the base. And in this case, since the base, it's a circle, is just plus pi r squared. So being said, let's go ahead and try number 1. So problem number 1, it says find the lateral area and the surface area of each regular pyramid. So first of all, I want to know my, what is the slant? What is the height? The slant is 9 feet. The height is, do we have the height? We don't have the height, right? So this is what I was telling you, that sometimes you're going to be missing that height. So you could think about this as a triangle inside that square pyramid, where the slant height is 9, well, that's a hypotenuse. The base is 5, so half of that triangle would be 2.5. So to find the height, we can just do a squared plus b squared equal to c squared. So it's 2.5 squared plus h squared equals to 9 squared. So when you solve for h squared equals the square root of 9 squared minus 2.5. And let's just simplify that, 9 squared minus 2.5 squared. And let's simplify that with a calculator. So h is approximately, so the volume is, what's the formula? 1/3 area of the base times the height. So when I substitute the numbers, is 1/3. The area of the base was 25 square feet, and then times the height, which is 8.65 feet. And then let's just put that in the calculator. So what did you get by 1/3 times 25 times 8.65? Approximately to the tenths, 72.1. 72.1, and this is square feet times feet. It would be cubic feet.
I always say backwards.
Cubic feet, that's okay. And those are the 3 answers. Any questions about that one problem? No? Okay, now. It's a lot of work, yes, but we can do it. Now, problem number 2. You try number 2. Go ahead and find the lateral area, the slant, the surface area. Let me go ahead and list them. So the first things you need to find is the slant, the height, the perimeter, and the area of the base. If you get those pieces of information, it's just easier to put them into the formula. So to find the slant height, you're supposed to be looking at the slant, which is 6, the apothem, that is the square root of 3, and we don't know what the height is. So the height is missing. So it's like getting the square root of 3 square plus h square equals to 6 square. So the square root cancels with the square, so it's like having 3 plus h square equals 36. Subtract 3. So h square equals 33 when you subtract the 3. And then when you get the square root of that, that gives you approximately 5.74, right? Okay, so the height is 5.74 meters, right? And then it's 6. No idea. Okay, so let me erase this so that I can have that space. Now, what about the perimeter? That is 12 because it's a hexagon, so it's 6 times 2, and that gives you the 12 meters. And the area of the base? Well, how did you get that number? Excuse me. So it's 0.5 times the apothem times the perimeter, which is 12. So that is the same thing as 1/2 of 12 is 6, right? So let me just leave it like this so that I can have a more precise answer. So it's just 6 square root of 3 square meters. Right? Okay. So now we're ready to get the lateral area, surface area, and the volume. So lateral area, the formula is 1/2 perimeter times slant, which when you substitute is 1/2. The perimeter is 12 and the slant is 6. Great. And then we just simplify. So 1/2 of 12 is 6 times 6, 36. And meters times meters is square meters. So there you have the lateral area, which is the area around. Next is the surface area, which is lateral area plus the area of the base. So when you substitute, that is just lateral area is 36 square meters, right? And the area of the base is 6 square root of 3 square meters. If you want to put this as an exact answer, all you have to do, you have to just put the real part, which is both of them are real, but first the simplified, which is 36, and then it's 6 square root of 3 on the side. You put that in parentheses, and that is the square meters. Now put that in the calculator. That is right. So when you run it to the tens place, that would be 46.4. 46.4. So they're both, this is an exact, the first one, and the second one is the approximate answer. And now for the volume of that pyramid, the formula is 1/3 the area of the base times the height. So 1/3, the area of the base was 6 square root of 3, and then times the height, which is 5.74 meters. And let's just put all of that in the calculator so we're going to have an approximate answer. Okay, number 3. In number 3 it says find the lateral area, the surface area, and we're going to include the volume here. And volume. So again, let's get the 3 pieces of information. We need the slant, the height. Do we need the perimeter here? No, the circumference, right? So it's going to be circumference and area of the base. So for the slant, that's given, isn't it? 8 inches, right? The height is the one that is missing. So to find the height, let me draw. This is a triangle that we have to look at, this here. So to find that height is going to be 3 square plus the height square equals to 8 square. And then you simplify. So this is basically h squared equals 8 squared minus 3 squared, because you move the 3 squared to the right, and then you get the square root of that. So just put that in the calculator. Then in the calculator you get 7.42 to the hundredths place. So 7.42. If you're going to use a measurement within your calculations, it's always better to round it up to the hundredths. Yes. Come on. I hope I can erase it. I cannot. Okay. This is inches. Okay. So how about the circumference?
What is it, your radius 3?
2 pi r, and the radius is 3. So that is basically 6 pi inches. And the area of the base would be pi times the radius square, right? So when you simplify that, that would be 9 pi, and then inches square. So it's a square inches. Okay, great. So I have the 4 pieces of information. I'm ready to get all the pieces. So lateral area, the formula is pi RL, right? So it's pi radius times slant. That's just the lateral area. And when I substitute the information, that is pi times the radius, and the radius is 3, and the slant, which is 8. This is 8 inches. So in terms of pi, because it says here, give the answer in terms of pi. So in terms of pi is just 3 times 8, which is 24. Then you put the pi, and then the unit of measure is inches times inches is square inches. So this is the lateral area. Now the surface area, that includes the area of the base. So we already have the lateral area, which is 24 pi square inches, and then the area of the base was 9 pi. And together is 24 plus 9 is 33, and then we keep the pi and we keep the unit of measure, which is square inches. And last but not least is the volume. And for the volume, this is 1/3 the area of the base times the height. So 1/3 the area of the base is,
Miss, it doesn't matter if it's a cone. Wait, is it a cone?
right, for the cone is 1/3. The B stands for the area of the base, which is pi r square,
Oh,
and then times the height. So we already have the base, and that's 9 pi square inches. And the height is 7.42 inches. And let's just put that in the calculator.